Is going on? I am your boy Warpath, and today I bring you episode 2 of my OBS series, Scenes and Sources. Right? So we're going to be talking about how to create scenes and how to create sources. So we're going to get right into it. Infinity window, just like the episode 1, but you'll know how to create this. It's not really something you want to create. It's just a window capture, so it is definitely a source within OBS. Alright, so how to create a scene. See, to create a scene is the easiest thing, right? You're just going to right click your mouse and you're going to go ahead and add scene. Add scene is the way to create your scene. It's going to ask you to enter a name, you know, you can name it whatever. You name it test, or you can name it the game that you're trying to stream. Or like myself, I have a scene that says tutorial. So that scene is only dedicated for this series that I'm doing for you guys. But you guys can see right there on my scenes, I have the gambling night, which was a long time ago, but it has really good features on my sources, so I left it there. But recently I added Dark Souls, the new Call of Duty layout, and Rocket League, alright? So now that you go ahead, you can create it. Just say test or whatever. You can write whatever you want. I'm not going to create it because if I do, then pretty much the video gets ruined because it's going to go straight to the next scene, and I have no sources equipped on that new scene. All right. So let's say, for example, just for this video purpose, we're going to say that the tutorial was the new scene. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and create the source. Source is pretty much the body of your scene. The scene is legitimate just so you can move around and choose which one you want to go for. In your sources, that's when you create the body. Alright, so for example, this is my OBS vid, right? This is what creates this. And we're going to create this, alright? So this is how it's going to work. You're going to right click and you're going to add, alright? I will be explaining the global sources in the next episode, so you'll understand. But pretty much, global sources is it pretty much says it. It's self-explanatory. It's global. So whatever you create on your global source, which, by the way, you can just go to global sources, open this up, you'll add, and then you add whatever you want. So the global source is a feature that you can pretty much add. You can go to the global and you can add to any scene, and it's already saved, so you don't got to go through the whole hassle of setting it all up again. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a Windows capture, right? If you click on Windows capture, you can title it anything. I'm going to go ahead and say OBS screen, just for the video purpose. Boom. Okay, so now that's going to come up. And then it's going to ask you, oh, Windows, the window is set up for the settings and all that good stuff. The reason why this is set up is because there's no window to capture. The window capture is pretty much going to capture, let's say, you have the browser right here. You'll be able to capture your browser. You'll be able to capture, let's say, Twitch alerts and all that good other stuff, right? Once that's done, you're going to select your region. Once you select your region, a block like this is going to come up. And it's completely, you know, you can move it around. You can go like that. Boom. Okay, this is what I want to set up. So I'm going to set up right here. And let's say I want this thing to come up. Once you select it, it says press enter, escape, or click outside the rectangle when completed. I don't recommend to click outside the rectangle because it really does not do anything. But you go ahead, you press enter, and all your settings right there after moving that square around is going to select the region that you are trying to capture. Okay. Of course, the color key, if you want to use it wisely, because it will disturb your screen and all that good stuff if you do not know what you're doing with it. Normally, the color key is something that you would definitely use when it comes to Twitch alerts if you don't have a CLR browser, which I will also explain the CLR browser in another episode. Oh, alright, so I apologize for that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the monitor capture, alright? The monitor capture is exactly what I have here. So let's say, for example, I'll go ahead and remove this. I'm going to go ahead and, yes, I am going to delete that area. So right now I'm left with my backdrop. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add a monitor capture. And I'm going to go ahead and write the same thing, OBS cap for capture. I'll press OK. So it says monitor 1. Now I'm going to select the region. It's going to select the whole thing, right? I mean, that's what I want to do. You know, I want you guys to, you know, that I am definitely working on the computer and all that good stuff. If you don't want to show your icons on the bottom, go ahead and lift this up. Which you probably won't see this since the monitor is not being captured. So I'm going to redo it again. I do apologize. I kind of noticed that right now. I'm sorry. I'm kind of stupid sometimes. Alright, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do the monitor capture. Do OBS cap 1. The reason being is because OBS cap is already used on your source, so you cannot repeat the name of the same source. Because then OBS will get confused, so it'll immediately throw you an error and say, hey, you can't do that. We'll do OK. Alright, we're going to select the region. Click on select region. Okay, so now it's going to cover the whole area. So if you don't want your icons to be seen, just drag and drop. Drag and drop. That's all you're going to do. You're going to drag and drop wherever you want it to be seen. Okay, that's good. I'll press enter. I'll say OK, and it's going to create another one. So even if I eliminate that, it's going to go ahead and bring the other one up. Boom. Tag it again, eliminate cap 1, good to go. So this is the way you enable or disable your source. Alright, so boom, disabled, okay, enabled. Alright, I apologize, let me grab some water. Throat is dry. Alright, so when you go over here again, you can actually add an image if you want to. You can add an image slideshow, right? So if you want something to go on your stream, you can add anything. I'm just going to leave it as image. Just say OK. You're going to browse. It's going to go through your whole computer, right? For example, myself, I have a lot of Twitch items and all that good stuff. Let's say I want to do a PNG, which pretty much what it does is makes the background transparent. You can choose stuff like that, or you can create it by using GIMP, Photoshop, etc., etc. So, you know, I'll do Dark Souls just for the hell of it. Opacity 100, yes. If you want to make it transparent, you can make it a little bit more transparent if you want to. But, you know, for the sake of showing you what I'm doing, I'll go ahead and just leave it like that. So now I have that image, right? That image is going to stay up there. You can move the image if you want to, right? Because you want to manipulate your source as will. So you're going to go right here where it says Edit Scene. This is already chosen. And you'll see a red square on it. That red square, you can touch inside the square, move your picture, or you can go 4 corners. You see those little other squares and actually make it bigger if you want to. See how it's transparent? So when you have your overlay, which I will be discussing that as well in other episodes, you'll be able to see the game on this back part where there's no background at all. Alright, there's no background here and all that good stuff. And the image will still be displayed. If you want to do, for example, of course, the square is going to always stay there, so you always got to re-click the edit scene. But if you want to go ahead, you want to do an image slideshow, you say yeah. So this right here is where pretty much you can do overlays that change colors and all that good stuff. So you want to add file, and you can add multiple. Press Control and just go ahead and add multiple of them. Right? I'm going to open all of them. So right here, it's going to tell you how much time in between you want those images to be. It could be 10 seconds, it could be 20, it could be 30, it's up to you. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to do 5 so you guys can see how this is going to change all the time. You can randomize it, so it can be different colors at random, and it's not just by the list. Or you can just pretty much go by the list. I like randomize because that way it randomizes every cycle is going to do something different. I'll press OK. Now I have that image in there. I'll select the scene, put the picture right here, and eventually it is going to move different pictures, as you guys can see. So now I have images that every 5 seconds it's going to come up. Okay. The reason why it's kind of slow right now on image wise is because, of course, there's infinity windows open within the image. So it's going to be like, oh no, you know, I got millions and millions of, you know, images that I gotta eventually, you know, change. So now you see how that changes and all that good stuff. We'll go ahead and deactivate that. I'm gonna go ahead and remove because it's gonna get pretty crowded in here. All right, it's gonna get, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sources going on. All right, so your global source, of course, I'll explain that more in the future in another episode. You can even add text, all right, to your video. So I'll just leave it at text. You can choose your font, and of course, I recommend you downloading cool fonts and all that good stuff. Like for example, my font of preference is the Blow Brush. So if I click Blow Brush and I go ahead and said, you know, OBS episode. Episode 2, and I'll click OK, and the color is going to come out white, but you can change the color as you will. Double click on the color palette, you can change the color as what you want. I could do blue. Of course, my color preference is orange, so I'll go ahead and I'll do color orange just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Right, you can still manipulate a lot of stuff here, and I'll show you how you can manipulate your text in various ways. But for now, we're just going to do that, and that way you'll see it. Of course, it's going to be all the way up there. You don't want it up there. You want it in this corner. You want it down here. You want it maybe in between this stuff, or depending on what you got on your overlay. So you're going to edit the scene, and you're going to move it around. And if you think you can make it bigger, go ahead and make it bigger. Of course, I don't recommend it. Make it bigger by scrolling like that, because as you can see, you'll see the distortion on the lettering. So if you do want to make it bigger, just make it a little bit bigger like that. Right click on text, hit on properties, and it's going to bring the same properties back from the image. And you can go ahead and increase your font size. Bam! And then it'll just keep increasing the font size without losing resolution. So that's the trick. That's what you want to do. Alright, so we'll go ahead and leave it like that. So, many ways that you can manipulate your image, right? You can bold it, which really doesn't make any sense for my type of lettering. You can go italic, so it can just go down. You guys will notice this cut on the 2, and you're gonna think yourself, well, that's kind of iffy because it just does not look good. Looks like there's a window after that. So go inside your box where your text is already written, and you'll see that you can't move anywhere except left and right. So hit enter. And now you have the full image because now all the rest of the space that was there is taken off. Now there's no wall, so now it's a full word, no cuts or nothing. You can take off italic, you can do underline, so you can underline your word. If not, you can do vertical, so it'll go like that, so you can put it on the sides of your screen, I guess. You can even use an outline. I've been using the outline a lot since I kind of know how to color match a bit. See, now it's going to create a line over the letter. You can actually increase the thickness as much as you want. Okay? Actually, well, yeah, until 20. So as much as 20. And you can make it more transparent if you feel like it. Or like, you know what? I'm just going to make, it transparent, or just leave it extremely dark. It's up to you. Okay? If you don't want the outline, you're like, no, I'm okay with that. Look, don't change this back to 0, so just uncheck the block and you'll be good to go. When you go down here, right, I know you guys see it in a lot of streams, oh, but those letters are scrolling. Okay, well, you're right here on the scroll speed. You can actually increase the scroll, and it's going to start scrolling from side to side, right? Make sure you have space in between them, because if not, it's just all going to be in one word. You can go like that. If you want to do scrolling from the other side, just keep going down and you'll hit the negatives. Once you hit the negatives, it'll go the other way around. Okay? If you want no scroll, just go ahead and mark 0. Sorry, I apologize. Just go ahead and mark 0. You can also make the letters lighter if you want to, so that way the game can be seen from the back, I guess, from the lettering. I normally just leave it in 100%. It doesn't disturb me because the places where I put them at tend to not block the game at all. So now that you're done here, then you're good to go. Now, this box right here, alright, I know you're going to have questions like, so why would I use the text form file? Oh, well, that's too easy. If you click on that, that's going to disappear. But if you browse, myself, I have Twitch labels. So if I want to, I can just put it right there. It's going to give you like a link kind of deal. If I go to my folder, let's say I'll go to, where was it? Okay, so Twitch alert labels, right? And I click there, and you'll see stuff like that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and say, well, you know what? I'm going to do follow train latest follower. And I click on that, and I'll say OK. So now it's going to, of course, it's going to refurbish. Your Twitch labels has to be on, like it is right now. This is my Twitch labels. You'll go down and refurbished, and then it should be coming up. Now, if it doesn't come up, that's fine. That means you probably don't have anything filed on that file. So it doesn't really, make any sense to even put a file there if you don't want to. Just do enter text. All right. Jeez, this is so huge. Well, that got kind of messed up. All right. So just hit cancel, and we'll eliminate the text. Stop. All right. So now we're going to go to the CLR browser. All right. So the CLR browser, the direct show audio source, and the video capture device are plugins, including the game capture. Once you download this, by default, you'll be getting the CLR browser, the video capture device, and the game capture, not the direct show. Right? A lot of people tell and ask me, "Oh, how do you put your party, in the stream, and it sounds so well, so like perfect, and there's no problems with lag when they talk?" Well, this is what I use. I use direct show audio source. I'll show you that more in advance in the other episodes. The CLR browser as well. But when you go down here, right, you have the video capture device, which that's what you want to use. Right? A lot of people do, oh, let me do game capture or video capture device. You can do game capture if you want to. I say okay, whatever. I wouldn't do it myself because it's gonna try to look for an application. Oh, what is it that you're trying to capture? Listen, you don't need none of that. All right. If you're not using your PC, you're using an Elgato. If you're using a PC, go for the game capture, because that means that OBS is granting you a way to display your game without buying the Elgato. Okay. So go ahead and don't even worry about this if you have an Elgato. But if you don't, then definitely get into this. Pretty much when you have the game loaded up, you're about to go stream, it should come up right here where it says Slicing Lunix is twitching right now, because he is, and I have the Twitch up. So what you want to do is you click here, and you're going to look for what's up on your side. But definitely we're going to go with the video capture device. Normally I write Elgato, right, for example. Right, by default, it should bring the Elgato Capture HD or HD60 or whatever you have. It should bring it automatically once it's done. Okay. After that, if you want to, you can configure from here and all that good stuff. Myself, since I have different types of settings, I do custom resolution. My resolution is 1920 1080. That means my game is going to cover the screen. I do 30 seconds, 30 frames per second. I apologize, pretty late for me. Frames per second. And then the chroma key, if you want to use it. I don't recommend to use it on the Elgato. There's absolutely no need to use the chroma key, but I've seen people that use it, and I still don't see what's the difference between using a chroma key and not. So don't even try it. And the audio, leave it as is. Use device audio, that's fine. Output audio into stream only. So that's what's going to do is going to bring the audio straight to your game. The reason why I'm not going to have an offset on this is because it's already in the settings how we discussed in episode 1. Once everything is good, you click OK, and of course it exists because I still have it I have it as the global source. So if I activate it, I put it on, and then you'll see something coming up. So that's how you want to set up your Elgato once it's done. Okay? And add, and then that is pretty much what there is to know about scenes and sources. Once you have your scenes and your sources, your stream should be looking something, for example, like this. Right, I have the begin, starting soon, and all that good stuff. Once I'm done with the starting soon, I should be popping up on my stream as well, right? I should have my, I do have a green screen, so I have the chroma key off, so therefore it's going to show. But this is how it should be when it comes up, right? You should have your overlays going on. You should have some text. If you have sponsors like myself, I have Cinch Gaming and CJ Grips. Those are my sponsors, and I'm proudly sponsored by them, and therefore you can use my code and all that good stuff. So you want to write that down. Of course, I have the donation train going down underneath. That's based on Twitch alerts, and I will show you how to use that. That's how you use your CLR browser, so you can actually add those. That's roaming around my back. And then, of course, this new overlay that I'm doing, it's from StreamX. And they also use the CLR browser. So CLR browser is it's OP pretty much when it comes to OBS. If you can use your CLR browser, OP. All right. So once it looks like that, that's how it should look. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can disable. Earlier today, me and my buddy were playing. He was trying to do PvP on Dark Souls, so we did a little arena kind of deal. So he went 28 kills where he won, and then he lost 9 times. So that's pretty much it. I can disable the donation train and all that good stuff. I can activate the Elgato and show you how it looks like, so that way you'll see pretty much how it would work, right? If I activate my Elgato, of course your screen might go black or it might not. Okay? I apologize for the pause. The reason why that paused, right, is because it's analyzing. It's trying to bring in. I'm sorry, I'm watching a little bit of Hulu while I'm doing this. It might come up, it might not come up, right? Because your screen is going to go black depending on how fast you have the Elgato trying to transport image to PC really quick. Myself, I have it at just a default seconds. It's fine because it gives me more than enough time. That's why I have my starting soon banner up. So when I start streaming, I have it up, and then I start setting everything up ready to go. That way there's no errors and no problems going in the process, alright? So pretty much this is what you would see, right? Of course you'll hear my monitor because the Banky pretty much when you actually set up the Elgato, every time the BenQ goes down, it's gonna always reset the mute. So you have to remute it every time. So I'll go ahead and deactivate that. I apologize for the whole noise. Try not to, and it just happens. So we're gonna go ahead and for your screen. That is pretty much everything there is to know about scenes and sources. If there's something that I'm missing, please let me know. Communicate with me. Leave your comment on the comment box below, of course. And if this helped you a lot, please let me know and click that like button and subscribe as well. Thank you very much for all your time. Make sure you follow me on all the major social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and make sure you come to the stream and chill with me every now and then, alright? All the links are down below on the description box, and that would be it for this episode of my OBS series, Scenes and Sources. Thank you very much. This is your boy Warpath signing out.